This morning, the House Intel Committee demanding answers about the possibility that someone inside President Trump's campaign was spying and secretly feeding information to the FBI.
Or somebody close to the campaign. House Intel Committee Chairman Devin Nunes joins us right now with more. Good morning, Chairman.
It's good to be here in person. It's a lot easier. Satellite hookup.
Right. So, Chairman, why is it important to find out who was possibly on the inside of the Trump camp, informing people on the outside?
Well, let's talk about how did this get started. So you had Fusion GPS that was hired by the Democratic Party and the Clinton campaign to draw up a dossier on the president, or as the president was running for president. What happened with that is that in his testimony, he mentioned that there was a source within the campaign.
Glenn Simpson, who runs Fusion GPS.
Glenn Simpson said that in public, what was closed testimony, then it became public. Now he's confirmed that he was telling Congress the truth, which is probably a good idea. We believe he was telling the truth. And what we're trying to do is get the documents to figure out, did they actually have, what methods were used to open this counterintelligence investigation.
If that is true, if there is a spy,
and we don't normally believe he's telling the truth, but in this case, we think he's telling the truth.
You really have a problem with his veracity?
I think that if you look at what he said and then how he tried to walk it back, and they tried to plant a story in the Washington Post to walk it back, which is typical what they do. It makes it look like it happened.
If there was a spy, though, what does that mean for Fusion GPS?
Well,
or for Christopher Steele?
Well, I think what it really means, I think it will look badly on the Department of Justice and the FBI on how they conducted this investigation.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of. We're trying to put clarity and sunlight for the American people so they know everything that happened on how this investigation began.
It kind of sounds as if your congressional investigators got the information regarding this secret source, it sounds like that might call into question the narrative we've heard so far. It's like, oh, really? It didn't happen like that at all.
Well, I think if the campaign was somehow set up, I think that would be a problem, right? If there were somehow meetings that occurred and all this was a setup, because we have yet to see any credible evidence or intelligence that led to the opening of this investigation.
By you saying that, it makes it sound like you believe Donald Trump was framed.
Well, look, I believe that they didn't have that. Well, first of all, I believe they never should have opened a counterintelligence investigation into a political party. Counterintelligence investigations are very rarely do they happen, and when they do happen, you have to be very careful because you're using the tools of our intelligence services and relationships with other countries in order to spy on a political campaign. Probably not a good idea.
Along with the fact that you could be influencing an election. That's also. So yet last week you asked and you got permission to go over because you had a subpoena to go over and view these documents with Trey Gowdy. What happened last week? What's going to happen tomorrow?
Well, I think we had a productive meeting last week. And really the solution here is to get the Department of Justice to just come clean with everything, provide all the documents in a timely manner. So tomorrow we're going to go back, hopefully, to the Department of Justice. They have questions that we left for them to answer for us this week, and I think we'll have another productive session, and hopefully you begin to shine some light on this whole situation.
Well, we have a statement from the DOJ. They say, as Deputy Attorney General Ron Rosenstein has said repeatedly, we don't put a lot of stock in anonymous sources over here, and we are committed to continuing to work with Chairman Gowdy and Nunes to accommodate their requests. Are they working with you?
Yeah, I think that Rod Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General, has a real chance here to clean this mess up for the American people. He really can step in and clean it all up. I think you can make sure nobody's asking for sources, right? Nobody's asking for sources. Nobody's asking for methods. So look, let's just talk about, lay all the cards out on the table. Here's what happened and how this counterintelligence investigation was opened.
Because for 2 years, a president, whether you voted for him or not, has been hamstrung by a process that's making it impossible for him to move forward.
Well, if they never had any evidence of colluding with Russians, then you have to ask yourself, why did they open this investigation in the first place?
Great question. That's why you wanted to hear about the source. Devin Nunes, thank you very much for
Nice to be here in person.